Hello everyone. So today in this tutorial we'll be looking into JavaScript ES6 functions and methods that are introduced. So in the last video we had seen some of few, but we had seen into presentation. So in this tutorial I'll be showing some of the live examples of these functions. So starting with JavaScript ES6, exactly what it is. So it is basically is the newer version of JavaScript that was introduced in 2015. So it's also called as ECMA script 2015. So ECMA script is basically the standard that JavaScript programming languages use. So it provides the specification on how JavaScript programming language should work. So, starting with this tutorial, let's start with the let and var. So, earlier I had given a brief difference between the let and var, and also had said about the const. So, let's look into the example directly. So, I use Visual Studio Code for my programming language, which I feel is very good. So I will start with the Visual Studio Code. Let's start with the new window. So first what you need to do is you have to create a new file, and here it will ask for a language. So you have to just write JavaScript. So now let's start with the JavaScript let. So what exactly is let? So let is used to declare variables, as I had said earlier. So previously variables were declared using the var keyword. So you to know about difference between the let and the var, you can see my previous video, which is in my channel. So variable declared using let are basically block scope. So it is declared inside a block and it will work inside a block only. So this means that they are only accessible within a particular block. So let's see one example. So let name Sarah. So here is my block. So I will create another name. So I will console log it name. So while I'm writing, you can guess what will be printed on the inside block and what will be printed on the outside block. So now you need to save this file. So I will save this file. You have to give the extension as dot .js. You can create a new folder. I will create a name as example.js. So when you save it, you have an option of run and debug. So you can directly go there and just run and debug. So it will ask for the environment. So as earlier told, install the Node.js in your system. So Node.js will set the environment for you. So you can see we have Peter and Sarah printed in the console. So Peter is basically the inside one. So I have declared the let inside a block and consoled it. So that name has been declared first. And then outside the console, I have also printed the name. So that Sarah, which is outside the block, has been printed in the console. So let's, if I print this as, make it as const, and just run and debug it. So you can see it's the same because the my Peter is declared inside the block. So let's see next, which is the arrow function. So arrow function is basically used to create a function expression. So we can see one example here. So if I have a variable named as x, and I want to create a function x comma y, basically I will multiply it and return it. So in return we'll declare into y. So this is basically the normal functions that we write. So if you want to write in a using arrow function, so I will show you how we can write using the arrow functions. So you have to just declare the variable, then x comma y, which you need to return, then the arrow function, which is declared equal to, and the forward bracket, not bracket, the arrow, sorry, arrow, and then the return value which you want to print. Like here it is x into y, you can write it as x plus y, or x minus y, or x divided by. So instead of writing in three lines, or instead of writing the whole function thing, you can write in a simple way using this arrow function. So the functionality is the same, the working is the same. So we'll be looking into the further into another example where we can print something. So let's start with this arrow function only. So let's look into one another function. So first example, we can start with no argument. So let me write it as, let grid equal to, and we use the arrow function. And now I just console log, I will print hello, and I will print the function display. Here you can see there is no argument in the function. This is arrow function with no argument. So if function doesn't take any argument, then we should use an empty parenthesis that I have used here. So when I run this, you can see the hello is printed. So if I pass a one argument to it, so like I will remove an empty parenthesis here. I will pass one argument and then print that argument. And now I need to pass something in the function to print. So I will pass hello here. So now when I run this, you will get the hello. So basically what is happening, my argument is been passed to the console log statement, and it can be anything. So when I, you can call as many as much time in your code. So if I want to into world here, and if I run this, you can see hello world is been printed. This is something like passing an argument into a function using arrow function. So now let's see using an expression. So when we solve a real world examples, this is the common thing which we should know. So I will take like example of a person who is like a who less than 18 and more than 18. So firstly, I will declare one age, which is I will declare it as 5. Now I will create one expression. So I will check if age is less than 18. Now you need to write the question mark. Then there will be two statements where you have to print if what if the age is less than 18 and what if the age is more than 18. So in the first empty parenthesis, I will just console what will be printed if it's less than 18. So baby. No offense, but I am just giving this example. If you are less than, if my viewers who are watching this are less than 18, please don't get offended. I will print as adult. So now I need to, sorry here, not the semicolon, the this one, the double colon. Now I will just print this. I will run this. So you can see I have passed the age as 5. So if the age is less than 18, then it will directly print as baby. So if I pass here 25, then it will print as adult. So this is the simple condition, simple arrow function using an expression. So basically, we have created dynamically created a function and use it as an expression in this example. So let's look into multi-line arrow functions. So when I will just give one example. So in this example, I will be returning the addition of the values. So in I create a let sum. So I am using let most of in the example. So you should also use because it's really good or better, and it's the main thing in ECMA script. So here I am passing and multiple statements and arguments here. So I will print the result, so which is a plus b. You can try different in your system. This is where I've written the value. Now I need to pass the value. So this is using the earlier example I had showed using no argument. There was no argument. So here we are passing an argument in the arrow function, and we are using the multi-line arrow functions. So here I need to create a new variable and call the function which I have declared. Now I will console log the result and I will just run it. So you can see the 7 plus 5, 12 has been printed in the console log. So what I have done basically created a sum function in which I am passing an argument of a and b, and that a plus b value is printed in the result which I am returning. And I have created another variable where the value of the sum, like a plus b, will be stored in this variable, and then I have printed the same value. So you can try with the different example like multiplication, division, and subtraction in your systems. So moving forward, the another important thing that we use in the newer languages is the this function. So this you can use this keyword using with the arrow function. So this keyword refers to a function where it is called. So this is not associated with the arrow function. Arrow function does not have its own this. So whenever you call this, it refers to its parent scope. So let's look into one example. So I create a function named as person that I create one name as Jack, Jack from the Jack Sparrow. I hope everyone has seen Pirates of Caribbean. So next is the age. Then we can write create like this dot say name, which is on the function. In that function we will print the age first. While printing this we need to use this dot age. So then again we will create one another function which we can say as in a function. So now exactly what I'm trying to say is this: whatever I will print inside will refer to the global object that has been declared above. So again I will print here the age, and on here I will print just this and nothing else. So you will understand what exactly it will print. Meanwhile, you can guess what exactly it will print in the console. So here I will be printing the outside function which I have declared. So after everything, let's create one variable and then create an object of the above person function and x dot say name, which is the inner function inside the person. So let's just print this. So you can see 62 is this age. So when I created a function called say name inside the person function, I consoled first the age. So you can see that has been printed. But when I created another inner function and I called the age, that was not printed because it doesn't refer to the global object. It will give you the undefined value. So in the next line I have printed the this in the console log, so you can see here. So only the global clear intervals. So it is clearly saying that no debugger available, cannot send variables. So this is what I want to convey, that you cannot send variables inside double function. So I have already created a function called person, then I have created a function called say name, but I have not created any function called inner function. So this in this example, it's I have shown how to use this function with the arrow function. if you will see here, this dot age inside this dot say name is accessible, but this dot say name is the method of an object. So inner function which I have created here, so it's a normal function. So it and this dot age is not accessible because it refers to the global object. So what exactly it means? So it is a window object in the browser. So this dot age inside the inner function gives you undefined value. So let's change something here. So let's say I have created this say name function, then I have created console. Now instead of this, I will create an arrow function using let. So let inner function is equal to the empty parenthesis. Now I'll use the function, and here I will just print the age, not else, and this will be same, and here also it will be same. So I will just run this. So now you can see the values has been come, both are 62. So here what is happening exactly is the inner function is defined using a arrow function, and inside the arrow function this refers to a parent scope. So this dot age gives you the value 62. So this can be achieved using a arrow function. So I have shown you both the things without the arrow function and with the arrow function what exactly gives you value. So many a times in the real world when we write a code for an application, we always get an undefined error and we always search for it in the Stack Overflow or any other in Google. So how it can be removed? So this is one common mistake that we make in while writing the code in the applications. So next, let's look into spread operator. So what exactly is spread operator? So spread operator is a new addition to the future in JavaScript ES6. So we use three dots and it is used to expand or spread an iterable of an array. So let's see in the one example. So I will just clear this. So first let's create a array. So here I will declare array values. My name is Jack. I'm using Jack more in this tutorial because recently I have seen Pirates of Caribbean, so I am much fond to it. So here when I console this, I will sorry for that. I will print the array value first. Now I will use the spread operator and I will show the difference how it will be printed in the console. I will run this. So you can see when I printed the array value, it gave me an array of my name is Jack, which is similar, like it gave me the same array. But when I used the spread operator, it gave me a sentence like my name is Jack. So it basically converted your array into a normal string value. So how exactly this is? So I will say this line basically is similar to console.log my name is Jack. Yes, you can see how exactly this works. So when I use this parent operator, it directly converted the array value into a string value and it just printed in your console. So let's now see how we can copy an array using spread operators. So I will just remove this. So I will create two array. First is array 1 that will write 1 and 2. Now I will create another array in that I will first copy the value of array 1 and then I need to print further values. So I will console log the second array. So here you can see my first array has been copied into the second array and it has printed me and given me 1, 2, 3. So now what exactly is the use of this spread? So if we want to join or merge, if we want to copy an array into another array into the function, there will be a bigger array which I need to copy that array into another array and use it as a single array. So this spread operator can be used. So next I'll be showing you how to clone the array using spread operator. So just me clear this and start with a new array. Sorry for that. I This is an array. You can see Visual Studio Code give me error while I was declaring a wrong because I have already set it to JavaScript language. So it will not take other. So now I will just console log both the arrays. Now, what I will do is I will push or append the item to the array. So, in first array, I will push one value, let's say 4. And now again, I will print the same. I'll just copy paste it. I will run. So here, what happened is here both variables array 1 and array 2 are referring to the same array. Hence, the change in one variable results in change in both the variables. However, if you want to copy the arrays so that they do not refer to the same array, you can use the spread operator. So here you can see I have not used till the spread operator now. But if you want to change in one array which and does not want to reflect in other, then you can use using a spread array. So let's try that too. So here I will not copy it. I will use spread, and here the same, here the same, here the same. So now again, if you see, this will print me the same. So now you can see this last array, it has given me the same value 1, 2, 3, and not the 1, 2, 3, 4s, because it has pushed the value to only to array 1 and not to array 2. So basically, when we use a spread operator, it makes a clone of the first array, and it will not reflect or any give any changes to the existing array. So you create a fresh array from the existing array, and you do the changes on that array. So basically, I create a new array from an existing array 1, and then I pushed the value to first array and not the second array. So my second array remains the same. So yes, this was the spread operator, and now let's look into the important topic, which is the map. So what exactly maps are? So JavaScript ES6 has this introduced has two new data structures, which is map and weak map. So weak map mostly we don't use much. So map we used in most of the applications. So map is similar to objects in JavaScript, so which allows us to store elements in a key value pair. So the elements in a map are basically inserted in an insertion order. So if you have little knowledge of data structures, then you will understand this. But unlike an object, map can contain objects, function, and other data types as a key. So let's create first JavaScript map. So how to declare the map? Basically, we have created a const value, and then this is an empty map now. I will console log it. This is an empty map, so it has zero values. So now I will insert some items to a map. So after I create a map, you can use the set method to insert elements into it. So after I have created this, I will insert the key value pair, which is map1 dot set. So in that value, then the key value pair, jack, and then the age. Age is not a string, it's a number, so I'm not using it in a single parenthesis. So here, basically, info is pointing to name Jack and age 26. So when I print this, you can see the value is like this. So you can also use objects or functions as a key. So I will just create a new map. So here I will just change this to map 2 and then create a new object which is empty for now, just to show you. And I will set this and I will add object. I will remove this. So basically this value will be pointed to the object and will console it. Yes, this you can see here an empty object is pointing to the name and age, which will be printed in your which will be printed in your console. So next is the get method. So there is a concept called getter and setter. So setting the values I have shown in this example. So how we can use the get. So let's start with creating a new map. Now first, to use a get method, you should set something or else you cannot get. So I will write the same name Jack, then age. Now you can see I am creating a string and not the number here. So now I will get the values. There's a console. So map1 dot get. So you can see the AI of Visual Studio Code directly gives you these things because I have already set the environment and language. So you can see this will give me a value, the name and the age, and not the set value, not the info. It just returns me the info value. So there are different map things that you can see online. So there are has method to check if the element is in map. You can use the clear and delete method to remove elements from the map. So we can look into that. Let's create a new map. Same info. I'm declaring the name Jack and then the age again in the string. Now I will just delete this. So I will just do something that is not in the or that which is not set. So I will only set the name and age. So I will write address which should return me false and then I'll just console it. And then I will declare the true values like info. Name should be same. And again, I will console it. So when I will run this, so you can see, firstly it returned me false. So it also is showing that there is no such thing called address. And then the next thing, it has deleted the whole value of info, and it has printed, and now my map is again zero and empty. So this was the delete, and now we can see how clear works. There is a difference between both. So clear basically removes all the key value pairs. So when I deleted the info, the whole thing got deleted and map was empty. But when I will clear it, it will only remove the key value pair from the map object. So let's look into that. So I create a new map. I will set value, name, Jack, then the age. Now I will write map1 dot clear and just nothing in the bracket. Now I will console log it, and I will just run this. So you can see, it's the output may be the same because I have only one value here, but uh, when you delete it, the whole thing gets deleted. But when you clear it, only the key value pairs gets removed. So this is the question which an interview can ask you in an interview. So you have to answer in this way. So if you want to see the size of the map, so, so I will use the same thing. I will not clear this. You have to just write map1 dot size. You can see the size of this map is 1 because it has one value. So next, we will see how to iterate, like how we can use the for through the map elements, the map methods. So for that, now I will write it a different way. Sorry for that. I will declare the name first, and then I will set the age. You can write in both way. So I'm showing the another way of writing it. So now I will use the for loop. So here for let, here you print the key value of map 1. Now inside it I will console the key. I will just give one uh, like dash to show how the values are printed. You can write directly or you can show the representation. So I will just print this so you can see here. So name is Jack and age is 27. So basically the loop iteration has happened inside a map element and it has printed the values. You can use for each two and you can use different iterations available there. So this was maps for you. So further, if I say what exactly is the difference between a map and object, so map basically contains objects and other data types as keys, but objects can only contain strings and symbols as keys. And maps are directly iterated and their value can be accessed as we saw just now, but objects can be iterated by accessing only the key. And the number of elements in a map can be determined by the size property that we just saw before this, but the number of elements of an object we cannot determine it manually. So another thing which I had called, which I have told was weak map. So weak map is basically similar to map, but weak map can only contain objects as keys. So I will just show you a small example. So let's declare a weak map. So now I will just console it. Now this is a weak map with an empty thing. So now I will create an object. Now I will set the weak map. So you need an object and so I told in the starting, so weak map can only contain objects as keys. So I will declare hello. Now I will console it. So you can just look what exactly it prints. So it will print me the hello. And this is weak map, which is the first, which is an empty weak map created. And then an object is created, which we have declared as hello. So when you try to add other data types besides objects, it will throw an error. So I will just show how it is. So I will just remove these two lines and I will just give this in a single colon. So now I'm adding a string to a weak map. So this will give me an error. So it tells me it's an invalid value used as weak map key. So because it attempted to set a non-object key in a weak map, so it will not allow you. So there are also different methods in weak map, which is get, set, delete, and has, as I showed in the map function. But there are no iterables, so iterables will not work in this weak map. So basically, weak map is not used in most of the real world applications, but map is used in most of the applications. So yes, this was some of the JavaScript ES6 functions which we use in a real world example. Hope you have liked this tutorial. Please do like, subscribe, and share the videos and share the knowledge that you have gained. Thank you for everything.